Today I'm painting a wizard, Kenric Thistlemore. He is from the Dark Heaven Legends from Reaper Miniatures, and I wanted to show you today how to paint the cloak by doing highlighting. I have already given the wizard white undercoat and painted the base brown. I will now give the wizard a base coat of Tempest Grey by MSP Paints Reaper Miniatures. I'm using a character brush by Army Painter to apply the grey, and what you're doing is just cover the whole miniature in your base coat. This miniature looks very similar to Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, from the Mines of Moria. So I've decided to go for the same type of colour scheme because it's a very cool looking mini. So what we're going to do is, as always, I will finish painting the base coat, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the next stage. Now I've done the undercoat. I've covered the whole cloak and the hat in grey. In some places I went over twice. The next stage is I'm going to add a black ink wash. I'm going to use the ink wash from MSP, and what we'll do with this is we shall cover the whole of the grey with black so it goes into all the recesses. So just put some ink on your palette. Get a nice brush and cover all the grey areas. Black works very well with grey for doing your shadows. Because the cloak has so much, or takes up so much of the mini, I'm doing this all first, and then later I can do the staff and the sword, the face, the beard. So it works out easier, and if you make any mistakes, of course, you can cover them up afterwards. I'm slowly swapping all my paints now to the Reaper Miniatures line of colours, because I'm just finding they work so well. I'll probably still stick with the Games Workshop dry brush paints, mainly because Reaper don't do dry brush paints, not that I know of, but I'm really enjoying the colours from the MSP range, and they really are good to paint onto your miniatures. Now the ink is dry, we go back to Tempest Grey and we highlight all the high edges with the grey, and it's quite simple. You just going over just what you've already painted, just on the highlights, so on the top of the creases. I'm just using a detail brush by Army Painter. So you're leaving all the recesses dark and going over the cloak to give highlights. All the raised areas. As the paint dries, it will blend in with the colours, with the blacks I mean. So you go around the whole miniature, leaving the recesses black, and carrying on with the grey, and the same with the hat. Just go around the edge of the hat, leave the centre of the hat black, top of the hat. You're trying to work on light sources too, so then behind the hat would be black at the bottom. What we'll do after this is we'll add an even lighter shade. But already you can see, just by adding this grey, it's making the miniature much more three-dimensional. It's given depth. And I will finish the rest of these highlights, and I will come back and show you the next part. Now that the first grey's finished drying, we shall add some more highlights on top of the grey that we've just done by adding some white to the grey, the Tempest grey that we're using, and we're just making a lighter highlight of the same colour. And what we do now is we'll go over the edges of what we've just painted on. It's just a lighter version of what we've already done. And this is how you highlight the miniatures, by adding lighter shades of the same colour. So we're just going over what we've just painted. But you're just going over the edge of the surface, because each highlight you add is higher than the last, so you're getting your gradient. Once I've highlighted these, we'll add one more gradient, a lighter gradient. Around the hat. Just trying to remember the hat. Need to add some more water to this paint, it's too thick. There you go. That's better. The brush was starting to clog up. That's better. Okay, on top of the hat, all white. As you can see, the highlights are all starting to come through now. So highlighting is really start with your darkest colour and then keep on working up to lighter and lighter colours. So I've just about finished my highlighting. So what I'm going to do now is I will paint the rest of the miniature and show you what the finished article looks like. So be back soon. And here is the finished miniature. I have added some dirt to the bottom of the cloak and added a brown ink wash. Done the beard and all the sword, the staff, highlighted the base with some greens, some browns. Very nice wizard. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial on how to do your shading. So until next time.